Have you ever wondered how one battle can change the course of a war? Let's take a leap back in time. Picture the world embroiled in the Second World War, the Pacific theater of war, a key battleground. One pivotal encounter stands out, the Battle of Midway. This wasn't just a clash of titanic forces, it was a dance of strategy, and sometimes sheer luck, a dance that would shape the course of history. The Battle of Midway indeed turned the tide in the Pacific, but how did it all unfold? To understand the significance of Midway, we must first travel back to the early days of June 1942. During this time, the Pacific was a chessboard of military strategy, and the Imperial Japanese Navy had an ambitious plan. Their goal: to eliminate the United States as a strategic power in the Pacific, thereby securing their own dominance. The Japanese planned a surprise assault on the Midway Atoll, a coral reef halfway between Asia and North America. They believed that by drawing out and destroying the US Pacific Fleet, they could effectively cut America off from the rest of the Pacific theater. But unbeknownst to them, American code breakers had cracked the Japanese naval code. This intelligence breakthrough gave the United States a secret weapon: knowledge. Armed with this knowledge, the US changed the game. They knew when and where Japan planned to strike. This was a decisive moment, a turning point that would write the pages of history. As the days ticked down to the impending battle, both sides began to mobilize. The Japanese, confident in their plan, dispatched a powerful fleet. Meanwhile, the United States, playing their cards close to their chest, readied their own forces, waiting for the right moment to strike. Tensions were high, and the stakes even higher. As the sun rose on June 4th, 1942, the stage was set for one of the most pivotal battles of the Second World War. The morning of June 4th saw the Japanese and American forces poised for battle, each unaware of the other's full strength. The sun barely peeked over the horizon when the first aircraft took to the skies. The American forces, having cracked the Japanese naval codes, knew an attack was imminent. Yet they didn't know the sheer number of enemy carriers that lurked beneath the Pacific's deceptive calm. The initial airstrikes were a flurry of chaos and destruction. Torpedoes and bombs dropped, leaving trails of smoke in their wake. The Japanese carriers, the heart of their Pacific fleet, were caught off guard. The Akagi, Kaga, and Soryu, once formidable beasts of the sea, were now flaming wrecks, sinking into the ocean's depths. This was no stroke of pure fortune. It was a testament to the power of intelligence, of strategic planning, and yes, a dash of luck. The Americans had deciphered the Japanese codes, yes, but they had also made a daring gamble. They had sent their carriers, the Yorktown and Enterprise, into the heart of enemy territory, risking everything for a knockout blow. And it worked. The Japanese carriers were crippled, their decks ablaze, their aircraft grounded. The tide of the battle had turned, and with it, the very course of the Pacific War. The Japanese, who had been on the offensive since the attack on Pearl Harbor, were now on the back foot. Yet the battle was far from over. The Yorktown, heavily damaged, was under attack. But the American forces held their ground. They fought back, defending their carrier until the Japanese forces, battered and beaten, withdrew. The next few days were a melee of fire and smoke, of courage and resolve. The Japanese, in a last-ditch effort, launched a counterattack, but to no avail. The American forces, relentless and resolute, held firm. By the end of June 7th, the Battle of Midway was over, ending in a decisive American victory. This was not just a battle won. It was a turning point, a moment that shifted the momentum of the war in the Pacific, forever etching June 4th, 1942, into the annals of history. The Battle of Midway was not just another battle. It was the turning point of the war in the Pacific. In a span of just a few days, the United States gained a strategic advantage that would prove to be instrumental in the war's outcome. The blow to the Japanese Navy was devastating, with the loss of 4 aircraft carriers, the backbone of their naval power. But beyond the physical losses, the Battle of Midway was a psychological victory for the United States and its allies. It marked the end of Japan's seemingly unstoppable advance across the Pacific and signaled a shift in the momentum of the war. Midway was the turning point, where the tide began to turn against the Axis powers. This battle, fought with courage, ingenuity, and even a bit of luck, forever changed the course of history. And so, the Battle of Midway remains a testament to strategic planning, bravery, and a bit of luck, forever etching its significance in the annals of World War II.